Control your own mind, and you may never be controlled by the chaos of others. Have you ever wanted to scream at the top of your lungs in a quiet room? That moment when your hands are steady but your soul is shaking? When life throws one of those gut punch surprises, an unexpected betrayal, a financial emergency, or just that one text that changes your whole day, and you're supposed to stay calm? We live in a world that celebrates hustle, speed, urgency, but punishes us for losing control. The irony? No one teaches us how to actually keep control, how to stay grounded when everything around you is demanding your panic. We try breathing apps. We try pretending we're okay. We try scrolling the anxiety away. But deep down, we know we need something more, something ancient, something unshakable. That's why we're turning to the man who taught us how to train our mind like a warrior, Napoleon Hill. He said, "Control your own mind and you may never be controlled by the chaos of others." And today, we're going to unlock what that really means. Ready for the calm you were never taught to build? Control your own mind and you may never be controlled by the chaos of others. In a world addicted to reaction, Napoleon Hill offered a radical idea. Your mind is not a sponge, it's a steering wheel. This quote isn't poetic fluff, it's a weapon. Hill knew, through decades of studying the world's most successful people, that every victory begins inside, every defeat too. When chaos erupts around us, it's not the event, but the interpretation that shakes us. Hill taught that mental discipline isn't just about focus. It's about emotional sovereignty. It's the moment you stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and instead declare, "I decide what this means." Hill didn't just write about this. He lived it. Born into poverty, lost his mother young, faced ridicule and war. But through it all, he built mental calm like armor. And now, it's our turn to do the same. Let's look at what happens when we don't. Welcome back to Napoleon Hill, where we forge the tools to master our inner worlds. Today, we're diving into how to stay calm no matter what. Imagine standing in a packed arena, spotlights blinding you, heart racing, yet appearing as cool as ice. That's the ideal. But instead, most of us feel like Mike Tyson in his darkest days, undefeated on paper but trapped by our own fury. We wake to breaking news that rattles our foundation. We sit in traffic with deadlines looming. We scroll social media and find our self-worth evaporating in milliseconds. What philosopher Napoleon Hill teaches is that calm isn't a luxury. It's a strategic advantage. He spent decades interviewing titans of industry, creative geniuses, and world leaders, distilling their secrets into principles you can use today. Over the next 5 pillars, definite purpose in chaos, mastering the inner conversation, programming your subconscious, confronting fear's faces, and harnessing the mastermind, you'll embark on a journey. Each one is a stepping stone from frantic reaction toward poised action. By the end, you won't just understand calm, you'll command it. Number 1, the power of definite purpose in chaos. Chaos is loud. It screams, react now, panic now, worry now. But purpose whispers. It doesn't chase you, it centers you. Napoleon Hill once wrote, "There is one quality which one must possess to win, and that is definiteness of purpose, the knowledge of what one wants, and a burning desire to possess it." When life gets messy, most people flail. They text 10 people. They overthink. They spiral. Why? Because they lack a fixed internal compass. Imagine standing in a hurricane. Most people try to grab flying objects. But if you had a solid anchor in the ground you could hold on, that anchor is purpose. Purpose doesn't remove the storm. It just reminds you why you're standing in it. Think of people like Viktor Frankl, who found peace in a Nazi concentration camp, not because the chaos stopped, but because he knew what mattered more than the chaos. Purpose is power that doesn't shout. It roots. Hill believed that every calm, focused leader he studied, from Edison to Carnegie, had this in common. They knew what they were doing and why. That's what gave them the strength to stay calm under pressure. Let's get real. You'll be tested. You'll lose people. you'll be misunderstood. And if you don't have a why burning inside you, the world will hand you 10 reasons to give up. Your purpose isn't just about business or success, it's about identity. Who are you when everything falls apart? You're not calm because everything is okay. You're calm because you know where you're going. And nothing, not fear, not failure, not noise, can make you forget that. If your purpose doesn't anchor you when the storm comes, it was never a purpose, just a preference. Here's where most people get it wrong. They think purpose means having a detailed plan. But Napoleon Hill taught the opposite. You don't need to see the full staircase. You just need to take the first step with intention. That step builds calm. Even your physiology shifts when you live with clarity. Your breath slows, your eyes stay focused. You don't react, you respond. Because you're not operating from fear anymore, you're operating from vision. Now think about the last time you panicked. Was it really the problem, or was it that you forgot your path? When you know what matters, you stop wasting energy on what doesn't. You stop answering every critic. You stop chasing every opportunity. You stop fighting battles that don't belong to you. You start walking with a stillness that terrifies the noisy world. Because calm isn't passive. It's not indifference. It's an act of rebellion against the chaos of confusion. So write it down, tattoo it on your habits, speak it into your mornings. This is who I am. This is what I'm here for. And when your mind tries to spiral, come back to that. Definite purpose is not just clarity, it's calm in disguise. Number 2, mastering the inner conversation. Here's a brutal truth. The loudest voice shaping your emotions isn't the news, your boss, or your past. It's you. Most people never question the voice inside their head, the one that says, "You're not enough," the one that yells, "You have to react," the one that convinces you every silence is rejection and every delay is doom. Napoleon Hill said, "You are the master of your destiny. You can influence, direct, and control your own environment. You can make your life what you want it to be." But he didn't just mean external environment, he meant the internal one, the mental atmosphere you wake up to, fall asleep in, and carry through every moment. Let's get honest. When something stressful happens, do you respond from your calm, conscious mind, or from the frantic, fearful one that's been whispering lies to you since childhood? You see, calm isn't found in silencing your thoughts. It's found in leading them. Hill emphasized this through his principle of autosuggestion, the technique of deliberately feeding your mind the thoughts you choose, not the ones the world dumps on you. Any idea, plan, or purpose may be placed in the mind through repetition of thought. Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich translation: you have a radio in your head, and you get to pick the station. But most people, they're tuned to WFear FM. Every morning, what if I fail? Every night, what will they think? It's time to change the frequency. Hill trained his mind like an athlete trains their body, with repetition, with vision, with belief. He knew you can't just hope to feel calm. You have to install calm. And the installation begins with language. Start small. When the stress comes, don't say, "I can't handle this." Say, "I've handled worse." Don't say, "I'm falling apart." Say, "I'm returning to my center." These aren't affirmations. They're commands to your subconscious. Because here's the hidden code. Your inner voice is always writing your future. So what kind of story are you narrating? Hill's inner circle, the moguls, the inventors, the pioneers, they all had something in common. They spoke to themselves, not just about themselves, and the tone was powerful, focused, and deliberate. Mini hook: if your inner voice were a person, would you take their advice or block their number? You don't get calm by accident. You get calm by programming your inner narrative with authority. Repeat this with me right now. I am not my fear. I am the thinker behind the thought, and I choose peace over panic. That sentence is a rebellion, a reset button, and you can press it anytime. So the next time chaos knocks at your door, don't just breathe, speak. Take the mic back from the madness and tell your mind where to go, because if you don't lead your thoughts, they will lead you straight into emotional traffic. Master your inner conversation, and no external voice will ever own your peace again. Number 3, the subconscious mind and emotional programming. You've probably heard the phrase, what you think, you become. But Napoleon Hill went deeper. He said, the subconscious mind makes no distinction between constructive and destructive thoughts. It works with the material we feed it. In other words, your subconscious is not your judge. It's your servant. It listens, records, and executes. Now here's the terrifying part. Most people are programming it with junk, worry, self-doubt, catastrophizing, rage, insecurity. They feed it fear 24/7 and then wonder why their mind spins like a washing machine during hard times. You don't stay calm because your conscious mind tells you to. You stay calm because your subconscious was trained to expect calm, even in chaos. He'll describe the subconscious as the gateway to infinite intelligence, not woo-woo, not wishful thinking, just repeated, deliberate, focused emotional rehearsal. Think of it like this. You don't rise to the level of your intentions. You fall to the level of your programming, and unless you rewire the blueprint running underneath, calm will always feel like an act, not a reflex. Here's the good news. You can change the program, but you must feel the emotions you want to install. You can't just say, I'm calm while clenching your jaw. You have to embody it, visualize it. Live in that emotional frequency until your body starts to believe it's real. Hill taught that emotion is the fuel of the subconscious. Thoughts which are mixed with any of the feelings of emotions constitute a magnetic force which attracts similar thoughts. Think and grow rich. So what are you magnetizing? If your mornings start with stress, if your self-talk is filled with blame, if your nightly thoughts are drenched in fear, you are teaching your subconscious that panic is home and you wonder why calm feels foreign. This isn't about being fake. It's about being intentional. Calm must be practiced like a language until it becomes fluent. Mini hook. You are not born with emotional fluency. You learn it, or you suffer the cost of staying illiterate. Repetition isn't boring, it's programming. So when you visualize yourself staying composed during chaos, that's not fantasy, that's rehearsal. When you affirm your strength, not with hype, but with embodied conviction, you're no longer asking your mind to change. You're telling it what already is, and it listens. So start small. Every day, repeat calm-based commands while in a relaxed state. I remain composed no matter what. I breathe, I lead, I choose response over reaction. Attach emotion to those affirmations. Feel the truth of them before they become true. Your subconscious doesn't care about your goals. It only cares about your inputs. So feed it peace, feed it power, feed it a new rhythm until your nervous system forgets what panic felt like. Because the most powerful calm is the kind you don't fake. It's the kind your body remembers. Number 4, confronting fear's many faces. Fear is a master of disguise. It shows up as anxiety, as hesitation, as rage, as overthinking, as silence when you should speak, or noise when you should be still. Napoleon Hill didn't just study fear, he interrogated it. In fact, he wrote an entire book exposing its games, Outwitting the Devil. In it, Hill imagined a conversation with the devil, a symbol of fear and mental slavery, and uncovered something chilling. Fear is the tool of a man-made devil. It paralyzes reason, stifles self-reliance, and undermines enthusiasm. Here's the wild part. Hill believed fear doesn't need to destroy your life in one dramatic blow. It just needs to keep you reactive, uncertain, and drifting. And when you drift, when you move through life without purpose or principle, fear doesn't need to roar. It just needs to whisper. What if it all goes wrong? What if they leave? What if you fail again? Most people don't stay anxious because their problems are so big. They stay anxious because they never look fear in the face. We medicate it. We avoid it. We scroll it away. We turn it into fake productivity, pretending we're busy while secretly trying to outrun what scares us most. But you cannot conquer what you refuse to confront. Hill named 6 basic fears that enslave the mind: fear of poverty, fear of criticism, fear of ill health, fear of loss of love, fear of old age, fear of death. And he taught that none of them are real. They are mental prisons constructed by social conditioning. Mini hook. The bars on your emotional cage were built with your own thoughts. Now here's the twist. Fear loses power when you call it by name. Try it. Next time your chest tightens, don't say, "I'm stressed." Say, "I'm afraid of being judged right now," or "I fear not being enough." Suddenly you're not trapped in a fog. You're holding a flashlight. And that's the key. Hill taught that calm isn't the absence of fear. It's the management of it, the awareness of it, the dominion over it. Because calm people still feel fear. They just don't bow to it. And you know what? Fear's voice gets weaker the more you listen to it without obedience. Try this. The next time fear hits, say aloud, "I see you. I know why you're here. But I lead this mind, not you." Do it again and again until your nervous system catches up. Fear may knock every day, but you decide whether it gets a seat at your table. Don't wait to be fearless. Learn to feel fear and not flinch, because you're not trying to kill fear. You're trying to dethrone it. And every time you choose stillness over spiraling, breath over breakdown, direction over drama, you reclaim the throne. You don't become fearless. You just stop letting fear drive the car. Number 5. The mastermind and the calm created in connection. Let's flip the script. You've heard calm comes from within, right? True, but incomplete. Because sometimes calm also comes from who you're within reach of. Napoleon Hill introduced a life-altering principle called the mastermind group, a spiritual, emotional, and intellectual alliance between people pursuing a common purpose. And he wasn't just talking about business success. No 2 minds ever come together without thereby creating a third, invisible, intangible force, which may be likened to a third mind. Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. That third mind, it's power, it's perspective, and yes, it's peace. Here's the truth most never admit. You're not always strong enough to stay calm alone, and you don't have to be, because you are biologically wired for co-regulation, the process where nervous systems synchronize through safe, present connection. Think about it. Ever sit with someone grounded and feel yourself slowly exhale? Ever talk to a friend in chaos and leave more stressed than when you came? That's not magic. That's emotional resonance. Your circle isn't just influencing your goals. They're programming your nervous system. So look around. Who are you surrounding yourself with? Are they breathing through storms or feeding the fire? Are their lives emotionally led or emotionally hijacked? Hill emphasized the mastermind because he understood you cannot build an empire with people who build arguments. You cannot build peace with people addicted to panic. Mini hook. You can meditate for an hour, but one toxic conversation can undo it in 5 minutes. The people in your life are either a sanctuary or a storm, and when life gets loud, you need allies who don't just echo your fear, but reflect your strength. The mastermind isn't just about ideas, it's about energy. Hill saw that when 2 minds came together in harmony, they accessed what he called infinite intelligence, a kind of creative calm, an aligned clarity that's bigger than either person alone. This is why you must be ruthless with your environment. If someone constantly pulls you into panic, gossip, or fear, you don't need to explain. You need to exit. Because your peace is not a luxury. It's your power source, and you only protect it by curating who gets access to your emotional frequency. So here's the challenge. Find your calm allies. Build your mental council, not hype men, not drama addicts, but people who breathe, think, and speak with intentionality. Text them, meet with them, create your own mastermind, even if it's just 2 of you, because when calm meets calm, courage is born. And when courage is born, fear doesn't stand a chance. So no, you don't have to do it alone. And maybe you never were supposed to. You become emotionally unshakable not just by sitting in silence, but by walking with those who won't let you forget your power. Imagine this, the same world, the same deadlines, the same pressures, But you're no longer flinching, no longer caught in the storm. You've become the stillness inside it. You don't yell to be heard. You don't rush to fix. You don't beg for peace, because you've built it inside yourself. It started when you paused, when you stopped letting your emotions be hijacked by every loud opinion or external drama, when you learned that calm isn't weakness, it's mastery. You began to breathe with intention, speak with power, listen without panic, and suddenly, your reactions weren't reactions anymore. They were responses, measured, grounded, unmistakably powerful. The world around you didn't soften. You became steel wrapped in velvet, not cold, not numb, but centered. People notice. They ask what changed. They can't quite name it, but your energy carries weight now. You walk into a room and shift the temperature, not by speaking louder, but by being calmer. You've become the person others anchor to. But here's what they don't see. The early mornings where you rewire your mind, the deep breaths you take instead of lashing out, the conscious choice to respond instead of react, the hours spent unlearning inherited chaos. And one day, you realize you no longer search for peace in others, because you are peace. You radiate it. You protect it. You teach it by how you live. You're not immune to life's hits, but now you absorb them with grace and turn them into power. You didn't find calm. You forged it, from noise to nuance, from chaos to clarity, from surviving to leading. And the most beautiful part, you didn't change the world. You changed your relationship to it. Let's get real. You don't need a monastery. You don't need perfect circumstances. You don't need the world to quiet down. You need to learn how to remain quiet within it. Calm is not a spa day. It's not a weekend off. It's not just breathing exercises in a room full of crystals. It's a mental decision to stop letting external storms control your internal weather. And you can make that decision today. Right now. Start here. 1. Choose your first response, always, to be a breath. One breath, then speak, then move. That pause, that's your power. 2. Journal the fears that disguise themselves as logic. The what-ifs, the spirals, the fake productivity. Write them down, name them, call them what Hill called them, tools of the devil, lies. 3. Audit your environment. Ask who brings calm, who brings noise, then act accordingly. Don't explain, don't justify, just protect your mind like it's sacred, because it is. 4. Repeat this mantra every morning. I do not chase calm, I create it. Say it out loud, because your nervous system believes what it hears, and especially from you. 5. Build your mastermind. 1 friend, 2 allies, anyone who reminds you who you are without the panic. Calm isn't always found in isolation. Sometimes it's built in connection. And here's your reminder. You're not behind. You're not broken. You're just one decision away. A decision to respond, not react, to lead, not drift, to build your calm like a warrior builds armor. This isn't about self-help. It's about self-leadership. And it begins with you. The world will keep spinning. The noise won't stop. People will project. Life will test. But your power is in not letting it take your peace. As Napoleon Hill said, until you have learned to be tolerant with those who do not always agree with you, you will be neither successful nor happy. Calm is not surrender. It's sovereignty. It's choosing not to be ruled by what you cannot control. So next time chaos knocks, don't open the door. Just stand tall, breathe deep, and whisper, not today. Because you don't serve fear anymore. You serve purpose.